Hi guys, it's Pete from myjewelrybench.com. In today's lesson, we're going to be using our 3D printer and some CAD software to design a custom pendant for a customer who has these beautiful custom stones that I'm going to show you in just a moment. Hope you enjoy this video. Take care. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing we have to deal with is the fact that we have these three custom cut tourmalines. We've got a pink tourmaline and two green tourmalines. This particular piece is 9.7 millimeters by 2.5 millimeters. This piece is 16.5 millimeters by 2.5 millimeters. And this is 16.5 by 2 millimeters. So these two are the same width but different lengths. These two are the same lengths but different widths. We have a customer who wants to use all three of these in a piece, and in my mind I've been trying to come up with a design that would kind of work with this in a nice way. Haven't quite done it, so let's pull the stones out and take a look at the stones. I'm going to flip these over so they lay flat, and we're going to look at some designs here. We had one design that was where the two green stones were parallel with each other, same height, and then we had the pink down here. We would make our findings so that the pendant itself would have this little arch here coming out and probably opened up with some kind of a arc across the top for the bail, and the bail is the little part where you attach the chain. The pink tourmaline at the bottom, and then we had the two long green ones on the side, like so, because I think the diamonds give this some interest too, and it'll also give the pendant a little bit of weight also. So let's get started working on this finding. I have to make three rectangles that are going to hold the tourmalines. These are going to be measured in, you can see here we're working in centimeters. These are going to be measured in millimeters or centimeters. The first two rectangles are going to be approximately 16.5 millimeters long. 16.5, actually I want to make them 18.5, give us a millimeter at each end. We're at approximately 2.5 millimeters wide on the first stone, so I'll do 3 millimeters. And then what do we got here? Let's make this 2 millimeters thick. And let's zoom in. Almost. 2 millimeters. 3 millimeters. 18.5 millimeters. Oh, let's zoom in. There we go. That looks to be about right. Now I want to make another one of these for the opposite side. We're going to make that one just a little bit smaller. So I'm going to shift in D to duplicate, press enter. There's our second one. There is the second one. We'll be using this to mirror the opposite side. Shift D, enter, and I'm going to put that in the middle. This is going to be for the shorter of the three stones. This one is approximately 9.7 millimeters, so we'll make this 11.5 millimeter. And I'm going to move that down here. And I'm just going to lower it a little bit to give it a little bit of interest. And now for our heads, we're going to have three small stones located here. Let's go over to our heads around. Oh, look at that, we got the head selected. I'm going to pull out some bezel set heads. I'm going to select all of these and hit Command J or join. So these are all one piece now. And I want to align the rotation and scale. Okay, that works. Okay, so I'm looking at this piece and I have to make the cutouts for the stones. These cutouts have to fit our gem size, which is 2.5 millimeter by 16.5 millimeter. So I'm going to make a new box. Let's just zoom out here. Shift A, and we're going to add in a new cube. Let's go make this item, let's see, 16.5 by 2.5 by 1.5. And again, you got to do these in millimeter. 16.5 millimeter, 2.5 millimeter, 2.0 millimeter. There we go. So what I want to do is use this block as our cutout. So I'm going to overlay it onto our I'm going to shrink it on the y-axis, SY, and make that a little narrower. Okay. Going to hit the tab key to enter in edit mode. We're going to grab this bottom face. We're going to size that down. SX, and narrow that in. SY, just like that. That'll make a good cutout. Going to select the top face. I'm going to hit extrude Z, and we're going to bring that up just a little bit. And that's going to give me just a little lip around the frame. Shift D, enter, and then we're going to bring that down to the opposite side. We're also going to duplicate this one more time, and we're going to bring that up into the middle. We want to make this the same as the short pink tourmaline, so we want to get this measurement down to, let's see, 9.7 millimeters. Okay, and I'm going to bring that right over here. And let's take a look. If I want to use these as cutouts, I'll just bring it right there. It's protruding from the bottom. I think we're good there. So I'm going to hit the Shift key and then click on my object. Go over to, I think it's the Edit menu, and we're going to hit Difference. And there's our first cutout. Now I'm going to take this piece. It doesn't matter which one. We're going to lower that right to about there. Let's bring that up just a hair. Select our object with the Shift key and then Difference, and we get another cutout. And then our last cutout right there. We'll select the pendant and Difference. Now we've got a place for each of our stones. Our 2 tourmalines, our pink tourmaline here, 3 diamonds, and then we just have to asphyxiate a bail. That is Shift A. We'll add in a torus. And let's give this a little bit more definition. And let's, oh, that looks good. Okay, click, size, zoom in. Okay. What I really want to do is just cut the, okay, we want to look at this as a wireframe. Let's select vertices. And I'm going to draw here, selecting all the vertices. X, vertices, tab. Let's go back into solid mode. 7, let's bring this in here, S. Let's bring it up a little bit, S. Okay, pretty happy with that. Okay, and the last thing I want to do is add in a ring to the top of this, and this is going to be a fixed piece. Okay, so I've got that down. Now let's add in some heads, and these heads are pretty easy to make. How we make a head is basically this. We're going to Shift A, we're going to add in a mesh, and we're going to do a cylinder. Let's size this down. We'll say 8 millimeter by 8 millimeter by 8 millimeter. Good enough, I can work with that. Let's bring that up. We don't have to worry about too much definition in this because we're going to make this very easy to work with. Okay. What I want to do is grab this face. So we're going to select the face tool, click the face, delete that face, like that. Now I want to grab the edge. So we're going to select our edge tool, click on one of the edges here, hit the Alt key, and then click on another one, and we select the whole thing. Extrude, size, and then we're going to make it a little smaller. We're going to bring that up just a little bit. Size that. Extrude, size, make that a little smaller. Let's bring it up so we give it a little bit of definition, and then top it off with a face. Press the F key, that'll close it up. Go back into object mode. We want to size this down. So size, make it small. I'm going to put it right here. And then 1, let's bring it down to about like that. Now we want to copy this one. We want to copy it once here, and once there. So Shift D, Enter. You can use the red arrow here to move that over. Put that right there for our diamond. And I just want to look at that. That looks okay. I'm going to bring that up just a little bit. Let's bring this one up just a little bit also. Shift D to duplicate it. Press Return. And then we can use the arrow to move the third one over. Okay, so those are the prongs that will be holding everything in place. Now it's time to join them with the pendant. So let's keep our Shift key and select, actually, we can just draw a box around all. We've selected everything and press Command J. Everything's joined now. So it's one piece. Look at that. There's our pendant. That looks to be the final version. If all goes well, this is approximately 3 centimeters tall. And let's just double check the measurements. I'm going to go back into modeling mode. 7, let's zoom in. tab, tab. Okay, so we're in modeling mode. Let's take a measurement. So we should be about 16.5 millimeters. That looks to be about right. And here we should be about less than 10 millimeters. Looks good. Again, about 16.5 millimeters. Looks good. Let's get in object mode. There's our shading. Let's shade this smooth so we can see what the final project's going to be. And I'm going to give this a modifier just to clean it up a little bit. Export, STL. This time I'm going to scale it 10. Just because I don't know. We'll call this Tourmaline 3. Sorry about the clock. Okay, now let's bring up our slicer. A sheet 2 box splicer we're going to open. Cancel, let's get rid of this last one. Open. Let's see, we got Tourmaline Pendant 2 STL. There it is. Let's open that up. And that one didn't work out well, we'll get rid of that. Okay, so we got to use the second one we did. Let's open up this piece here. And where did that go? What did I tell you the measurement was on this? 7, modeling, tab, measure. Let's see it right there. It should be 29.4 millimeters-ish. Okay. Okay, so there is our model, and I want to add support. Medium support's good. I'll do a platform. We're gonna go back to this. I want this up at an angle. And I'll do that at 45. Okay, we're going to add the supports. Just in case. Do one here. Right there, just to make sure. Pretty happy with that. Let's go and slice it. Don't see too many errors. Let's save this. And we're going to save this on my memory chip there so I can put it in the photon, or the, I want to put the, we're going to save it on the memory stick so that we can use it in our Elegoo. We'll call this fancy pendant. Hit the save key. Wait for Okay, guys, that's all written. I'm going to close the thing up there. We're going to look at our memory stick here. Just take a look at what I got. And I want to get rid of a couple of these files. Oops. Get rid of that. That. Okay. Let's eject that off my computer and let's go get this printed, guys. Okay, guys, we're going to set up for the next step, which is to get this ready. I've already prepped my printer by cleaning it and getting Rain-X on the FEP film. So that's all set. What I want to do now is take my white resin and I'm going to shake this up. I want to get my gloves on because we're going to have to clean the bottle, obviously, after we pour this in. And align the, we're going to align the top plate. So let's grab our Allen wrench. If you have your printer already, you're good. I'm just going to run through this real quick. Nice and loose. I'm going to turn this on. Our memory stick is in there. Well, that's on. Let's get the other glove going here. Okay, so make sure you've got protection from the resin. We're going to go over to tools. I'm going to manually align and level the print head. That's like my shoes. Okay, so now I spoke out. Now he's down. If you hear thunder and lightning, guys, I live in Southwest Florida, where every afternoon in the summer it rains for an hour. It's just life in Florida. Opening up my bottle. We're going to pour in the white resin to about there. I don't need that much. Oops. Now I'm going to take some paper towel and wipe that off because we don't want the resin and the cap getting sealed together. So always make sure you do that. Keep a little bit of isopropyl alcohol. Just wipe off your bottle like that. And then I tend to wipe off the internal threads because when you're shaking the bottle, you're getting a little bit of resin there. Make sure you dispose of that. Seal your bottle up. Put that aside. What the heck? Tourmaline Pendant. There it is, right there. Hit the print. Looks like this piece is going to take about 3 hours, so we're going to let this go, guys. I'll be back when it's done. Okay, guys, so let's get back to the next stage. I've 3D printed the finding, and I had one little failure, made some modifications, reprinted this, and this is what I came up with. So what we're going to do is we're going to trim the supports off of our 3D model for our pendant. And I'm just going to see if I can break them by hand without doing any damage. I think now that it's cured enough, I can get these to come off relatively easy. And look at that. Perfect. Okay. So a lot better than my first version, which just kind of didn't get scaled correctly and fell apart. So if we look closely, we have our pendant, and what we're going to do is we're going to set the 2 green tourmalines on the side, the pink in the center, and then 3 diamonds in the middle. And we're going to check for thickness on the 3D print, because this is going to determine how we're going to have metal support on our print. We're 1.5 millimeters thick on the bail, and if I measure the thickness on the back side of it, 0.63, which is okay. Like I said, you want to stay within about 0.5 millimeter. Overall, dimensionally, it's 2 millimeters thick, excluding the prongs, and we should be, I measure this depth, 18.5 millimeters, which is about what I wanted. So dimensionally, off my CAD drawing, the 3D printer printed it just about exactly the right size. And come in here, we're at about 9 millimeters, which is good. And these, if I'm not mistaken, were about 3 millimeters. 3 millimeter, perfect. So looking at this closely, I think if I can get this into focus, I think the only thing that I'm disappointed in with my model, and that's mostly in the CAD design, was with the space for the 3 diamonds. If you look dimensionally, I'm a little leery at the thinness of the bezels that hold the diamonds in place. And even though I have prongs there that I can cut and push, one thing you have to consider is, if I can get a good view of this, when I seat this diamond here, this uppermost diamond, and I try to push that prong onto it, am I going to cause damage to the frame of this part of the finding? Because that part here is awfully thin, even with gold or silver. So you have to keep that into consideration. I think one thing I want to do here is just check and see if the gemstones are going to fit correctly in my model, so we get an idea of how it's going to look. I'm going to bring that up into view, see if I can get a good view of this. And luckily, I've got the prongs in the correct place. So looks like that after I cut the prongs to fit the stone and just do some little file work there, this stone's going to fit good. I'll put the pink stone aside, and we're just going to test the other 2 stones. Since they're just about the same, I'm not worried about it. Okay guys, so that was a quick little tutorial. I don't know if you call it a tutorial, but a little process of what we go through trying to make ourselves some 3D printed jewelry. And I mean, this isn't going to be the end piece. This has to be reprinted in castable resin, and then I'll send that out for casting. And I still have to determine what I want to do, if I wanted to cast it in silver or in gold. And I also have to determine, is the person who wants this pendant going to want it in white gold or yellow gold? I don't see a reason to go, you know, I'd probably stick with the white gold just because I think it'll make the stone stand out more. Also, the pink tourmaline won't get lost in the yellowness of the yellow gold, so something to consider. I'm going to put this somewhat together, do a little bit of finish work in there, show the customer, and see if she likes it. If she does, we're going to move on to the next stage. Thanks guys for taking the time to watch some of my videos. I really appreciate it. If you like these videos and you find them helpful, please give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see new stuff that I put out, usually on a weekly basis, hit the subscribe button and you can get notified by clicking on that little bell. I really appreciate any sharing that you can do, and the thumbs up that I get if you like these videos kind of helps with my channel to grow. You'll see that in the descriptions and on my website I do put affiliate links to products that I show and use in these videos, those affiliate links give me a little small commission. Doesn't cost you anything if you buy them. And when you buy within the first 24 hours of clicking on those links, I get a tiny little commission that helps keep this channel going. Any little bit helps to keep this up and running. Again, thanks for taking the time to watch it. If you liked it, hit that thumbs up and share on social media. Take care, guys. Happy watchmaking and jewelry making.